Imagine if there were invisible rules, rules no one talks about, rules that quietly decide who rises and who stays stuck. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself why two people with the same education, the same job, and even the same paycheck can end up living two completely different lives, one breaking free while the other always struggling to breathe under bills? The truth is, wealth is rarely about luck or even just hard work. It's about a silent code, an unwritten set of principles that the wealthy follow without broadcasting them, and the rest of the world rarely notices until it's too late. See, rich people don't brag about these rules, because the real power of money is in its secrecy. They know when to stay quiet, when to invest where no spotlight shines, and when to avoid the obvious path that everyone else is running toward. While most folks are busy chasing flashy things to look rich, the wealthy quietly buy boring assets, the kind you don't post on Instagram, land in overlooked areas, small businesses that seem dull but throw off steady cash, and even lending money where banks refuse. And here's the crazy part. They don't measure success by income. They measure it by control. Control over time, control over choices, and control over what risks they accept. A middle-class earner might dream of a salary raise, but a wealthy individual? They're thinking, how do I turn this one paycheck into 10 different streams that work while I sleep? It's not greed, it's survival in their world, because they know one stream can dry up at any moment. And while schools taught us equations and history dates, they never handed us the silent rule book on leverage. Using other people's money, other people's time, other people's knowledge, and stacking layers of advantage in ways that seem invisible until you notice someone 10 steps ahead and you're still waiting for permission. Rich people break free because they refuse to play only by the visible rules. Go to school, get a job, save in a bank, retire at 65. No, they bend those lines, sometimes snapping them entirely, because the system was never designed for freedom. It was designed to keep most people productive but predictable. And if you listen closely, you'll realize the wealthy live by contradictions. They act like risk-takers, but actually calculate every move like chess players. They appear generous at dinner but guard their investments like secrets. And they seem relaxed on the outside, but behind closed doors, their calendars are wars of strategy. These aren't accidents. They're deliberate practices, small shifts repeated for years until money compounds in silence. The silent rules are brutal. Spend less than you earn, but invest more than you spend. Avoid debt unless it multiplies income. Never reveal your entire hand, and treat every dollar like a soldier. It either fights for you, or it gets killed in battle. And here's the uncomfortable part. Most people don't lose because they're stupid. They lose because they're distracted, playing games meant to keep them busy. Status games, social games, approval games. The wealthy? They play wealth games. They know a conversation over coffee with the right person can be worth more than 10 years of grinding alone. They know that the real lottery ticket is relationships, access, and timing, not scratching paper cards at a gas station. And maybe the strangest silent rule is this. Wealth almost always moves in silence. Loud money burns fast. Quiet money lasts. That's why you'll rarely hear the truly rich shouting about how rich they are. By the time the world notices them, they're already untouchable. So next time you see someone who seems ordinary, driving a modest car, living in a house that doesn't scream wealth, don't assume they're average. Sometimes the richest people in the room are the ones nobody notices, because they've mastered the silent rules that separate them from everyone else. And the real question is, when will you stop playing by the rules everyone can see and start paying attention to the ones no one dares to speak about?